Or we may not talk about anything controversial. It just may be a nice, fun little talk. I mean, we're playing. It's just we're focusing more on the talking because we're. If anyone ever reads a YouTube statement, it clearly states what this channel is. If you want high quality gaming content where we win most of the time, go somewhere else. This is not it. We ain't it, Chief. We ain't it. We do more talking, and if we die, we die. Who cares? Just here for the fun. I mean, we had a banger. In good faith, I can, because I think we made good arguments. Good arguments. It was the first time we didn't actually fully agree on everything, and I think that was a good thing. It was good to show. Yeah, we didn't agree on everything. We both learned something from each other on it. It was a good thing. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. What's your wait? No, no. What? Do you prefer bacon? Oh, well. Here's one that we might differ on. Which type of sausage? Link sausage or patty sausage? Just like stereotypical Link versus patty. I also don't know if this is strictly like a southern thing either. I don't know if it's just us down here who have like Link or sauce or patty, or if everyone has that. But like, I have to say I prefer patty. It's I have to specify I prefer Waffle House's patty sausage. That is god tier sausage to me. That is the best sausage. Yes, Waffle House is amazing. The one in the one over where you are sucks. The one where I live is god tier. Well, I am not going there. Yeah. Huddle House also has good sausage, but I don't think it's as good as Waffle House's. What do you mean? What do they do? Yeah, fair. Tim. Oh, the DM. Well, which DM are we speaking of? Or did you say the DM and Suki? Because you said and Suki, then I know exactly. Okay, okay, okay. I know who you're talking about. It's just both of those have been DM, so it was like, I had to make sure. Wait, no, Suki. My bad. I was thinking of ukulele. More references no one's gonna get. That's the point. That's the point. Can I have all this ammo that you're getting from it? Uh-oh! That was not what I wanted to do. No, you're good. I was gonna ask if you meant H or D. Yeah, the other DM D. Yeah, dipshit. That's a good one. That's a good one. I prefer that one. Let's go with that one. I mean, fair. The Huddle House over there, I can't say I haven't had another spicy chest. Hold on. I haven't had amazing. It's another purple sniper rifle. I had to go. It would, even though I would, people would hate me. I don't play Minecraft like other people. I prefer creativity. I would love this. It would make me so fucking happy. Oh, wow, wow. Oh, wow, wow. Slowly deteriorates into pieces. I don't like Cracker Barrel. I don't like Cracker Barrel. I never have. Cause if I'm gonna eat breakfast, which I don't do a lot anyway. Why would I want? I don't like chicken and waffles. I should tell you how I like my chicken tenders. Don't like sweet chicken tenders. Apparently, I don't. I mean, if it's all about breakfast, the only thing I ever eat for breakfast is biscuit and gravy with 2 eggs over medium. That's it. Because it's. So, have I had you try the what I usually get where you mix in the 2 eggs over medium? Yeah. There's. Oh my god, you have to mix it. It's so good. I know that there was one in Asheville, but we never went because it was too expensive for us. We're poor people, remember? You thought you lived in a small town up until about, like, what, a week ago? Yeah. This might be a uncomfortable topic for people, but no. It's a story I'm gonna tell that is it's kind of gross, but I like talking about it because it shows just how much I hated this one teacher, and I will every time I have the opportunity to diss on this fucking teacher, I will. But I got sick for I want to say like a week, and I didn't eat for about a week. Because I just felt too bad. And as soon as I got over the sick, we went to Waffle House, and I got their all-star breakfast. You know, the big one. And then I went to school. This particular day was picture day. That's important to this story. So, it was about our time to go up and get our pictures taken, and I started feeling sick again. And I went up to this teacher and I was like, hey, is there any way I can reschedule my pictures? I need to go to the bathroom. And she was like, no, you have to go. I don't believe that you're sick. And I was like, I'm sick. She told me no. So on the walk there to get the pictures, I threw up all over the sidewalk. All over the sidewalk. I got it on my shirt, I got it on my pants, you know, it was not, it was messy. No, this was, I just got sick. It was not on purpose. It wasn't on purpose. She looked at me after I had, yes, after I had thrown up on myself. She looked at me and was like, "You're still getting your pictures taken." So my seventh grade in my the yearbook, 7th grade. If I can actually show you it. Actually, I can't because I don't have that yearbook. In that yearbook, I have vomit all over me. We had cleaned up most of it, so now it was just wet spots. So you could obviously tell it was there and most definitely what happened. But we had cleaned up most of it, so it wasn't. Yeah. Yep. Fuck that teacher. She knows who I'm talking about. I'm almost willing to say her name because fuck that teacher. She failed me. To pass the class was a 70. I got a 69. Because she didn't like me. I will. This one I will because she was sexist as fuck. There was about 8 people in her class that were guys, and there was also about 8 of us that did not pass her class. We have company. Go Scoot and Boogie. Yeah. Yeah. The good ones. Yeah, it happens. Yeah. Yeah. Better opportunities, obviously. Yeah, go ahead. Dick. Okay, so yours was better than mine. The other you saw me. It happens. I wasn't paying attention. Yeah. If she actually did try, it's not talking ill, it's just saying things she could have done better on. Yeah. Uh, I'm sure she had her reasons though. She sounds like she was actually trying. I will say it does sound like she was trying, and she probably had a reason. It probably would have been better if she voiced those reasons. Yeah. 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 Like that one, you can talk good about her. Mine, I can't because everything she did was strictly just to fuck people over. And everyone fucking knew it. Oh, this one was this one we she had her own nickname. Let's just say that. We should download Minecraft. I have 3 realms. Rainbow Witch. No. Yeah, I will agree with that. Oh, I have a couple excellent ones. Ah, I had 2 of those. I had 2 of those. Ah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Yeah, there's no like that's the entirety of John Wick. Yeah, it's the truth. That's understandable. Yeah, justifiably biased. I see you're calling out the parrot. Yet, yet. Okay, stashed over here just dabbed on me. The NPC. He's in the garage. He just dabbed on me. Yeah, that's a good one. Yes. I I've seen. I would also equate that with movies as well. Like also, the puppy versus baby thing, because there's been several movies where they kill the baby at first off. I can't remember any of them. But the one that I remember about a puppy being killed was John Wick. Like, you don't kill a puppy. Hitler. It's like I've been very like this might just be me, but I've been very intrigued on that thought process of if someone did go back and kill baby Hitler. what would be the repercussions of that? Like, what would happen? Yes, World War One definitely would happen. World War Two most likely would have still happened, but would the Holocaust still have happened? Would the other atrocities of that war still happen? Like, obviously, everything done in Japan would still happen because that was Japan. But what would have happened in World War II? Would Germany have even started a war? And if they did, would they be against the Allies in that point, or would they be with the Allies against Japan? Look up to Hitler. You gotta look up to him. Yeah, that's debatable. The douchebag is not negotiable. That was a fact. The one testicle, there's no real evidence to it. I think that was just a thing made up by the Allies just to make him, less. Well, I think when we found his body, it was burnt, so it wasn't like really any way to tell. And even if it was able to tell, the fact it was burnt could have led to the destruction of one of the testicles. Testicles! Ow! Aw, shit. Go away. It worked. It worked somehow. You're going mighty far without me, my guy. I mean, I think he's in this building. You want a purple DMR? Yeah. Let me check in here real quick. I think the way Hitler was raised, have you seen his artwork? His artwork is fucking god tier. I mean, compliment where compliments due, my guy. His artwork. Uh-oh. Argentina. Yeah. No, that is based in fact because a lot of the Nazis did go to Argentina. I was trying to think of become refugees to Argentina. They fled to Argentina. That's what I was looking for. They fled to Argentina. Going back. Honestly, I don't think there's any way to change the history of Hitler. Now, if Hitler had died, like say when he was in prison, he had died in prison before World War II started. What would have happened? How would that have changed history? Because that's an interesting one. There's no way of really knowing because we don't know who would have taken leadership instead of the Nazi Party. Actually, there is an idea that I just remembered that might be who would have taken leadership if it hadn't have been for Hitler, and it would have been the Communist Party. That's debatable. Um, but they definitely would have sided with Russia, which means if Japan started shit, they would have been part of the Allies because their allies would have been Russia, and Russia was part of the alliance. But then again, Russia was only part of the alliance because Germany attacked them. Ooh. So would they have been part of the Axis with? Would Russia have been part of the Axis with Japan? And then how would that have affected the war? Because it would have been millions versus everyone else. The largest military force in history versus everyone else. I like this thought process. I love history. I love history on war, like wartime history, why people did stuff, what they would have done differently. I thought I just saw you go over the edge. I don't know if that negates fall damage. Like that stuff fascinates me. Would World War II have even happened? It would have been World War II because Russia or Japan would have went to Russia. That was something that was happening. So they would have went to war with Japan. So therefore then Germany, if you would think not, but Russia lost to Japan. Before World War I happened, Russia went to war with Japan, and they got their asses handed to them. It was one of the downfalls of Tsar Nikola II. Because he led that confrontation against Japan, and he lost. Japan was entering another part, and Russia wanted it for themselves. So they thought it'd be an easy war against Japan. And they quickly found out that it was not, because they were severely under militarized. They didn't have the technology that everyone else did. Here's that DMR, by the way. There's actually a lot of evidence to point to the fact that if the American Revolution had failed, it would have happened again at a later point. We wouldn't have had July 4th because it would have probably been on a different day. But we would have eventually probably, I think one thing I saw was probably in the 1800s, we would have fought again and we would have won that one because the technology would have been better. We would have had more people here. It would have been a much better fight. The way it happened now is, yeah. No. The same thing, the other thing that I got thoroughly interested in and actually did do a lot of research on was what if the Confederates won Civil War? What would have happened there is America would not be nearly the superpower it is. The Confederacy would have eventually abolished slavery. That's just a thing that would have happened because the technology was going to the point where slavery was no longer needed. it was actually more. It cost more to keep slaves than it was to just use this new technology. I don't even think that. I think it's more like the whole reason that they had slaves was because it was economically superior. It was cheaper. Whereas, yeah, whereas with the new technology, it would have been more to keep slaves to run that than instead of just having like one or two people. Slavery is awful. It should not happen. It's sad that it still happens. It, yeah. How do we always get from breakfast or something simple to this? Let's try to get. Let's finish this topic. Go on to a better one. Let's just get it over with. Get it out of our system. Get it out. Let's get back. Let's get back to the history thing. That's a good one to think about. Just cool. Cool thing. Another one I like to think of is what would have happened if the invasion from the Vikings had worked against the English, because the English at the time were the Christian superpowers. Like their religious superpowers was then. Like, what if? No, it's more like, would Christianity be considered a pagan religion, like in that sense that it's not highly worshipped, like Norse or Greek or anything like that, or would it still have been a superpower and they just would have converted even easier after coming into England? Yeah, it's a hard one. Would the rulers of the Norse who would have taken over the English lands, would they have eventually converted, or would they have forced everyone else to come into their um, essentially pagan views? Because that was the way that it was back then. Was whoever was leading, they took on their religion. Like even England, whenever the Romans took over them, whenever the Romans first went to Christianity, the lower class Englishmen were still of the Roman pagan belief, because the pagan basically meant poor. It was the poor people's belief. So they still worshipped the gods of fertility and everything because it was easier for them than, because there wasn't any major churches nearby. So they were still that. Would that have happened with this, or would it only be in like the major cities where they would have eventually converted to paganism, whereas the countryside would have stayed Christian? I've been fascinated with this thought. It has been. I have been fascinated with this thought process for like 4 years now. Like, what would have happened? It would change everything. Would it have made it into the level of world religion as well as Christianity and Hinduism and Muslim? Or would it have eventually faded out back into where it is now? It's just a fascinating thought. She did. Yeah, like, it's not like, the thing about Norse is it's not like you have to go and fight, it's that you have to die in combat. Grab what you need. I'm gonna take the SMG. And we'll bring this thing down. Oh, there's a hole there. Oh wait, I can draw the circle. If you can break that. I'm swimming to you. Oh! Come down here so I can knight you. Oh. I got so quiet, so focused. You can't. You can't offend me. Same. We would get to that point because the scientific revolution was still happening. I think what would have happened was be very similar to what I believe, and what you said was not offensive at all. It's actually very historically accurate. Like, people used to believe that lightning came from God. So when people came about and said, no, lightning is not from God, it is this scientific thing, they were ridiculed for it. But the thing about the war thing that I need to specify, not every god was for war. Like, there was many. Freya is not a good example because she was a warrior. Tyr is actually, he may be a god of war, but he is a god of war of peace. He would rather diplomatically, like his belief system was, we can work things out with words rather than actions. He was one of the people who was sent to Vanaheim to issue a peace treaty between the Vanir and the Aesir. He was more for speaking rather than actions. But I think what would have happened if Norse paganism had have become the major religion in England is very similar to what it is now, where it is people believe in these gods, but they also understand that there's natural forces, scientific reasons of why this happens. doesn't mean that we don't still believe that those gods exist. It's just we see it more as like the lightning is more of their power rather than what they cause throughout the world. It's pizzas. we the Bible would still exist because the Bible was written and mass produced before that because it was made by monks. The thing that would have been different is we would have a whole lot more information on the actual Norse religion than what we do now. Now all we have is Christianized versions. We would have actual proof of what their stories and what their belief was rather than just speculation and just two books. There's literally two books that base the entirety of the Norse religion. I have read both of them page to page. Half the shit people believe is Norse doesn't actually exist in those books. Yes. Breakfast. Hey, thank you for listening. See you next time.